Hello, dear sisters. I have just finished my morning yoga, meditation, and breathwork routine, and I thought that I would chat to you about how yoga has changed my life, how it kickstarted my spiritual self-development journey, and also why I have chosen to include it as a part of this course. So I started doing yoga about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I'd always done it on and off, but I'd never fully committed to the practice that is yoga. And about 4 years ago, I decided that that was something I was going to dedicate my time to, getting good at yoga. I never enjoyed school sports growing up. I hated being competitive with my peers, and I just found it really uncomfortable, and I hated being made to do a physical activity that I wasn't keen on. And so when I found yoga, it really started to speak to me from a very deep level, as it was never about anyone else, but rather only the relationship that I had with my own body and the practice itself, and the progress that I could make between sessions. Many people think that you have to be flexible to do yoga. This is a complete stigmatization and is completely incorrect. Yoga is really for anyone and any body. Yoga can really be practiced by any shape, size, form of body. Yoga is an ancient practice that has existed for thousands and thousands of years and has been used by humans to help enliven their bodies. When I started doing yoga, I was just starting my self-development journey. I was becoming serious about getting to know myself. I was becoming serious about wanting to release my traumas, and I was becoming serious about wanting to change my self-sabotaging behavior. One of those behaviors was laziness. And so yoga has really helped me to invigorate and revitalize my body from the inside out. For me, yoga was a beautiful conversation between me and my own body. Yoga for me was about learning something new and putting myself out of my comfort zone. And the more I did it, the more I actually started to enjoy the way it made me feel. And so that further intrigued me to wanting to bring this practice more deeply into my life. What I found was, and something that you will learn throughout this course, is that trauma and emotional tension is not stored in the mind. It is stored in the tissues, muscles, and microfibers of the body within the system. And so in order to release emotional tension and restore balance to the body and release traumatic memories that are stored in the soma, we need to have a psychosomatic practice. And yoga is that beautiful psychosomatic. Psycho meaning mind, somatic meaning body. And so psychosomatic is a practice that combines mind and body. And so through this combination of mind and body, we can start to work with what is available within us, what is available internally, what is being presented to us, what is a challenge for us to work through. Any tension or pain or tightness that you may feel in your body, whether that's in your hips or your lower back, that has a multidimensional aspect to it. It is not just physical tension. It is made up of mental tension and emotional tension. And so what happened to me was I found that I would go into yoga classes feeling completely fine. And then during the middle of a yoga class, be holding a position for a period of time and find my eyes starting to well up and tears starting to flow down my face. And this is when I started to realize that yoga was helping me to release a lot of stored emotional and traumatic memories that were still in my body. And yoga helped me to understand why I had these blockages and tensions to begin with. Because when we work with our wounds, we need to be very gentle. We can't rush the process. We can't force ourselves to be in a place that we are not. And so what would happen is I would leave the yoga class feeling very sensitive, very open, very vulnerable, and I would actually have the tendency to snap or get irritable or have a fight with my partner. This really brought my attention to the fact that yoga is not only a practice for the body, but it is a practice for the mind, it is a practice for the emotions, and it is a practice for the spirit especially. And so we need to be very aware of this and aware of what happens when we practice yoga. And basically, as you hold a position, you breathe your energy, your life force, your awareness, your love, your concentration into that area of your body that you are trying to release. And so when you breathe this love, this energy into that space, it slowly starts to gradually soften and pull apart and widen and open so that you can feel more freedom in your body, more openness, more expansion, and more growth, whether that be muscle growth or mental stamina. Because don't get me wrong, yoga isn't always easy. There are obviously more easy poses and then there are more difficult poses. And so what I love about yoga is every single pose has a different level. And so one pose may have 3 or 4 different levels or variations to that pose. And so you as the practitioner get to decide what level works best for you. And so yoga has really taught me to meet myself where I am at, be real with myself and the level at which I am at in a certain place or aspect of my mind, body, soul connection. It has allowed me to surrender to the present moment. It has allowed me to connect deeper to the sensations of my body. It has allowed me to become grounded in my body because now I'm so much more connected and the channel between the mind and body is so much more activated because I am on purpose choosing to activate it every single day when I do my yoga practice. And that is the most important thing. Yoga is not about a one quick fix solution. Nothing meaningful in this world is a quick fix solution. Yoga is a medicine, it is a way of life, it is a lifestyle. And so yoga for me has become this consistent day after day practice where I get to use it as a medicine, a mental and emotional health medicine. It is about going back to your mat again and again and again and again and really realizing that you get to choose with which attitude you show up to your mat, with which you show up to the practice. You get to choose how you get to be. And what your yoga practice will teach you is that that choice is the most powerful aspect of being a human. Just like when you're holding a challenging pose, you get to choose. Do I fight this and tense my body up and resist, even because I'm feeling this tension arise? Or do I choose to acknowledge the tension and breathe into it, breathing love and spaciousness and openness and relaxation into that part of my body? Do I get to surrender to my body and to this posture and to this moment? And that's really how yoga has taught me such deep capacity for presence. Presence within this now moment, presence within my body. And so slowly my body started opening up and becoming more loose and more flexible, and I started to advance. I also started to become stronger, as yoga is not just about being flexible, but it is also about your strength. And so the strength really helped me to not only get strong, but also to develop that internal strength. Because what we develop externally or internally will have the opposite counter effect. So I developed external strength with my body through the yoga practice, and so I became internally strong. And this is one of the most underrated aspects about getting strong and getting fit, is you not only become physically fit, but you become mentally fit, you become emotionally fit, and you become spiritually fit, meaning that you become a strong, solid being. You become grounded in who you are. You become strong in your boundaries. You become strong in your truth. You become strong in saying no to situations that do not deserve your energy or time. And so from this inner strength, which really correlates to our root chakra, the earth element, I started to build a healthier foundation for my own personal development. Another aspect of yoga is flexibility. I've always been naturally flexible in some ways, and in other ways not. And so this flexibility that I started to cultivate in yoga really allowed me to cultivate flexibility in my daily routines. And so I became a lot less stressed out when something didn't go according to plan. I had the inner strength and flexibility to change my plans accordingly. I wasn't so fixated on a certain outcome. I wasn't so fixated on a certain outcome. I was able to be flexible with my choices and daily routines and practices. Another aspect of yoga is balance. Balance is something I was deeply missing from my life before yoga. And so that naturally translated to me struggling with standing on one foot and using my balance in the certain positions. This was a challenge for me mentally and physically, and so I am really proud of myself for where I'm at today, as I am now able to stand on one foot incredibly well for a long period of time. I am even now able to do a headstand and not fall over. As you can see, yoga helps with a multitude of physical skills that then translate to a mental and emotional skills. And these skills are really skills for life. They are skills that we should have been taught growing up. And I firmly believe that all children should be introduced to yoga at a very young age, as yoga helps us to learn the fundamental aspects of being a human and regulating your nervous system. This is a huge topic that we will go into deeper throughout this course. But learning to regulate your emotional reactions and nervous system responses is one of the greatest freedoms that you can give yourself. Yoga has allowed me to practice the meditative state in a moving meditation, which is what yoga can be described as. It is a moving meditation that helps to activate the flow meditative state that comes on when our parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system is activated. And from this place, we can explore our consciousness and receive deep insights and downloads from our higher self and from the universe. Because when we are calm, when we are relaxed, and when our body and system and channel is open, that means that we start to unblock our chakras, our energy systems, our energy centers, and so we can receive information from the universe in through our crown and down into the rest of our chakras, into the rest of our body, where we can integrate that wisdom. You cannot receive downloads or intuitive insights from the universe and from your higher self if there are emotional and traumatic memories still stored in your body. And so when we practice yoga, we can actually increase our intuition on a very deep level because we are clearing the blocks and trauma that is preventing us from accessing this divine aspect of our humanity. Intuition is a skill, and just like yoga, it is something that we need to practice, that we need to prioritize if we want it to increase and get better. Yoga helped me to kickstart my spiritual journey, as like I said, the more I was practicing, the more my chakras were unblocking, the more my body was opening, the more trauma I was releasing, the more stagnant, stuck emotions that were unprocessed from childhood were leaving my body, and I was becoming more open, more free. Because yoga helps us to release tension and traumatic emotional memories from our body, it also helps to deepen the relationship we have to our body, allowing us to open in a deeper way to the sensations of being alive and being present within a body. Yoga has helped me deeply release a lot of trauma and blockages from my pelvis and my womb space, which is where us as women store all our emotional trauma. In this way, it has been a beautiful building block along my sexual liberation journey. I have been able to explore my own sensuality and my own self-pleasure and my own sexual liberation as I dive deeper into the relationship with my body, because I no longer feel pain and trauma within my pelvis and womb space. It has allowed me to be so much more open to the experience of sexual pleasure with a partner and also with myself in my own self-pleasure practices. The body is the feminine aspect of being, where the mind is the masculine aspect of being. Being more connected to my body means I'm more connected to my feminine, which means I'm more able to receive life and receive pleasure and receive energy and receive love. And so when I engage in sexual experiences, whether it's with my partner or on my own with my crystal wand, I've been able to actually receive my own pleasure. I've been able to receive my own pleasure on a much deeper level than before. I have been able to experience much deeper sensational orgasms that are really a full body blissed out state. It is a different mental state even. And this is the beauty of being a sensual woman. We can have multiple orgasms and we can feel connected to our body in this beautiful, beautiful way. And so this is really the true gift of what I want yoga as the practice to bring to your life, is to open you up to so much more than you have ever received before. And the secret is, it all starts from within you. And yoga is one of the best ways to learn that all your power comes from within your mind, body, soul connection.